Blessed be, and welcome to the Circle of Heka. I'm Lady Amaris. So this is to follow on from my previous video on Samhain oil, if you're, it's coming along quite nicely. A bit of a, see if I can do it properly this time. Having a nice bit of a brew. I haven't put the label on it yet, but I know exactly what it is and where it is because it's in the same area as my incense will be, and various other things that I am making for Samhain. So it's not like I'm going to lose it anytime soon. So yeah, you can see that it is looking quite nice. And so this is to follow on from that and is to be used as a a layering of energies of smells and intention. So this one is a Samhain incense. Now, some of the things that I will be putting in the incense I didn't put in the oil, only because if the oil is going on someone's body, you want to make sure that it's not going to have too much of a reaction, or any reaction for that matter. But so let's get started. I have a few things, and we'll just go through. I have my mortar and pestle, which you'll see a little bit more in a moment. I have a jar, obviously, to put it all in afterwards. You can put it in little bags or something if you want, if that works better for you. But I'm just putting into a jar at the moment. It keeps it nice and airtight. So let's. And if you're wondering, I have my little candle here, and I thought it would be fun. Let's see if we can do it without spilling too much wax. You can see that the candle holder is a little skull, which I think is. Let's see if we can get a little higher. There we go. Look at that. All right. So let's go through the ingredients. We'll have, so the first thing that we will be having will be some rock salt. Now you can use sea salt if you like. I find it a little bit wet, especially if you're making incense, but just some nice, this again is natural rock salt, and it's not, it's similar to sea salt, but it's just the coarse rock salt, and again, it's up to you how you go. So we'll put that in the mortar and pestle. Might actually put a little bit more. Salt is good. Salt is obviously, salt is the good all-purpose protector and cleanser, and it's also very easy for you to get your hands on. So it's not one of those niche little bits and pieces. So a bit of salt, and as we go, I will be just giving us a little bit of a charge. So and then just giving it a little bit of a pound. Now, if you've got a small mortar and pestle, obviously when you've got some large bits and pieces, you want to put your hand over the top so the stuff doesn't come flying out, but this one is quite large. Now again, it will also depend on what you like. If you want your incense to be really fine, then obviously you're going to go to town and really make that into a fine powder. If you like to have a few little bits and pieces in your incense, then that would mean that you would put those. You wouldn't do as much of a pounding or grinding. Okay, so I'm going to put a few more of the powdery type things in. We've got some dragon's blood. Some dragon's blood, and oh, see if we can focus. Hopefully that's focusing. There we go. So some dragon's blood resin, and dragon's blood is the good all-purpose. It's the one that's going to have a bit of oomph when it comes to clearing a space and getting rid of any negative energy. So this is if you're not sure, if you're not read the title, but this is a Samhain incense, which means that it is a time when the veil between the worlds is the thinnest, and this is when contact between loved ones or between spirits and doing some spirit work is a little bit easier, a bit more advantageous. But the thing is that when you're working with ancestors and spirits, now not every one of your ancestors was a nice person. I don't think that, you know, most people's families will have a large array of different personality types and different things. So, you know, great Uncle Bob may have been quite a nasty pasty. So coming in and going, oh, ancestors, come and join me. You may not want good old Uncle Bob coming in because he was a bit of a douche. So this is about inviting in good spirits, but also keeping those ones of which we would call of a lower vibration, having them being barred from access to the area. So only spirits of an uplifting high vibration will be able to come through, because anything of a low vibration, any nasty pasties, they won't be able to enter into this area. So we have our dragon's blood. I'm not sure if you can see now, I've just pounded that a little bit, and I'll see if I can bring it up closer. And you can see that it looks like dried blood. So, no, I'm not going to be able to do that. Here we go. There we go. So your dragon's blood is pounding that. And as you're pounding, you can forcefully put in the energies that you want. You can bless them, as I did with the salt. The way you work is the way you work. How you're going to infuse your concoctions with energy is up to you. Everyone has their own little idiosyncratic. I can't speak. Everyone has their own little quirks and little ways of doing things. So what works for you and the way that works for you, if it means that as you are grinding, that you are pushing your intent in, and that's always a good way of doing it, or you prefer to just give it some energy, or all of the above. It all works. So again, you can go as fine as you like with that. I don't mind having a little chunks of, I don't know if you can see that, little chunks here and there, but it's got a nice little pink tinge to it now. So the next thing is the other resins, and I'll go a little bit faster with some of these. So we have our frankincense, and again, frankincense is always good for bringing in good energies, good vibrations. So if you're using the dragon's blood, that's getting stuff away, but the energies of the frankincense is going to lend good high vibration energies again to your space. I have some myrrh. There we go. Now myrrh is wonderful. It's good for helping to manifest energies when you have your incense and the spirits are coming in. Myrrh helps them to manifest and to have a little bit of a foothold. So having them in your incense when it comes to this type of working is really is a good thing, because that's what you kind of want. You want to have that communication and a little bit more little bit more of solid communication, if you want to say, but at the same time you want those that communication to be with nicer spirits that are going to be uplifting and helpful spirits. We also have a bit of benzoin. I love the smell of benzoin. Let's have a nice big chunk there. And again, that's good for helping to raise vibrations. It's a high vibration incense, so that any spirits or energies that are in the space will be of a higher vibration. That's what I'm saying. So we have our let's say finer resins that we've got here. And now we're going to have a few larger bits. One of the first things I'm going to put in is a bit of ground cinnamon. So this is already ground and done. And cinnamon is about bringing in good energies again, good vibrations. Smells wonderful. Cinnamon's always nice. So the next I'll have is some Valerian. It's got a bit of a nose to it, so you can see here. Now Valerian is used a lot as a substitute for graveyard dirt, so that is a good thing to do, and it smells. It's quite a potent smell, so it's not it's not one of the nicer smelling herbs. So it's used for graveyard dirt, but it's also used to purify the space and to calm emotions. So if you're doing a working, and again this is a Samhain incense. So Samhain is when a lot of the times people honour their ancestors, honour their dead, honour people who may have recently passed. And if you have something that helps to calm those emotions, to help to get rid of a little bit of anxiety and a little bit of fear, because a lot of the times when we've lost someone, we've got mixed emotions. But also if you are new to something like this and you are contacting or starting to open up to spiritual energies, again you want to calm your emotions a little bit. You don't want to be so tense and frightened and scared. A little bit more in there. Next we have a little bit of wormwood. A little bit of wormwood, and that is for used as a way of summoning spirits. It's used for divination and clairvoyance, so it's about opening up those psychic eyes, so that you can again be able to discern and start to recognize some of the spirits that may have gathered in the area. But also it is about calling those spirits as well. And because we've also have those higher vibrational energies in here, again, just to reiterate, it is calling those higher vibrational energies. Uncle Bert, who wasn't too great, I think it was Uncle Bert or was Uncle Tom, one of those guys that you probably don't want to meet in a dark alley. They're not going to be able to turn up with this incense. So next we have some yerba mate. Now yerba mate is a tea, is a drink, is a herb that's drunk by many South American peoples, and it is a drink of friendship. It is a drink of if you are sitting with a group and you share the drink of yerba mate, it is a friendship drink. It is a camaraderie drink. So this is, we're putting some of this in here it's for love and friendship. So it's about friendship of kin and loving feelings, and that feeling of connectedness. We then have some star anise. Now this is used, again, a lot of these herbs are used for multiple purposes, and it's what you infuse in into the mix, programming those herbs for that specific purpose. So we have some star anise, and star anise is really great. As you can see, there's got the little pod in there. There we go. So star anise is to increase those psychic functions. So remember, this is a incense, so it will be something that will will be breathed in. So you also want to make sure that you're doing some of these, especially because we've got a little wormwood and various other bits and pieces. You want to make sure that you have a well ventilated area. So this will be used outside. It's not like you're going to sit in a small room and fumigate yourself. That would be, I think that would be unwise. Now I haven't put a lot in because I don't want to make a massive amount. But if you want to make a large amount, then that's up to you. And I haven't put in of things because I'm just going with my gut. I'm going with my feelings. So and so that's how I go with a bit of incense. It's not this specific amount here and this specific amount of there. With a lot of things. Other things, yes, there will be specific amounts that I will use. But a lot of times I'll go on my gut. So the next thing I have is a little bit of tobacco that will go in. And tobacco is used by many traditions, for many different things. It's used as offerings. It's used as I think I'll show you some of the tobacco. But for this one, it's used for peace. It's to promote peace within the area, and it is a form of banishing. I might put a little bit more in there. So a bit of mugwort. That's a large amount of mugwort. I might not put all of that in there, but there you go, mugwort. And mugwort is one of those ones that most people know as a witch's herb. It's used for divination, and again, it's about opening up those psychic faculties. And once again, as I'm saying and talking about this, please don't use some of these things in areas that are not well ventilated. You don't want to smoke yourself out, and if you've got smoke alarms, then again that's going to set those off. We have a little bit of angelica root. And angelica root is exactly what it says. It's that angel energy. It's that high vibrational energy again. It protects against negative energy. So this is the common theme of what this is to bring good energy in and also protect from the nasty pasties. Next we have some lavender. And sorry about my voice, suddenly gone a little bit weird, but I did the silly thing of sticking my nose in there and breathing. So note to self, don't do that again. You have some lavender, and lavender is about love and is about healing and purifying a space. So again, it's that love and that healing aspect. So if you have people who are, as I said before, have had people who have recently crossed over, then having that healing that is needed to just come to terms with the fact that They are not going to be around in the physical form anymore. Oh, I sound like a 12-year-old boy. Excuse me. So they're not going to be around in the physical form anymore. So having that healing energy, having that healing vibration coming through. And last couple of things is that I have, not that you'd be able to tell, but I have dried some apple and some lemon. So the apple is a common herb, if you want, a common element in Samhain lore, where it is about rebirth. It is about the apple is considered to be part of the underworld. It is birth and death. It's one of those. We say that Samhain and Beltane are very closely aligned. It's that sex and death kind of energy. So having the apples is about love, is used in love spells, but it's also about rebirth and underworld energy. Lastly, we have a few hawthorn berries. Hawthorn berries. Now these are dried, usually they're quite red. And hawthorn berries are about dispelling evil spirits and removing negative vibrations. And last but not least, a couple of drops of rose geranium. Geranium is a very protective herb, and rose. I know that it is not a rose, but it is very similar in vibration. Rose geranium just lifts that vibration again and smells wonderful. Just gives it a little bit of an extra nice smell. And you don't have to put that in. You can put any kind of any essential oil that you want in there, and you can put more things in this incense, or you can take some things out of this incense if you want to do it yourself. So there we go. Once that's done, you want to then put it into a container. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in here. Oh, it smells beautiful. So you can see that incense there. You can see all the different bits and pieces. You've got some very fine pieces and some quite large pieces. And I'll then put it into the bottle. I may do that. Afterwards. So here again, have our incense, our Samhain incense for communing with our ancestors and with beneficial spirits, so that we are in a safe and protected place. I hope you enjoyed that. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. Blessed be. If you like this video and want to see more, please click on the links provided. If you think this witchcraft thing may be for you, please subscribe. Blessed be.